And I am live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. I did put the back signal out as I usually say. So whether they join or not is up to them. Um, I know it's Thursday. We haven't had a podcast on a Thursday, so this might have thrown people off. But I'm on vacation from my job, and I kind of like just wanted just to get content out, which I've been doing so far. I could be doing better, but you know, I wanted to just get this out the way. So, um, I want to do it. I'm gonna say this now, but I'm gonna do a review on this later. I just came from seeing Borderlands, the movie, and I'm gonna go into detail. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna go into detail quick on it. But you ever watch a movie where it's just like it's not bad, it's just disappointing? And that to me, that's what Borderland is. Now I know the people that done seen it. I don't watch Angry Joe's review, and Angry Joe's did this how much it sucks. And me going through the movie, and then uh, oh, father done into the chat. You doing good, father?
Still working.
You making it? I was just talking about how I seen the Borderlands movie before I came into did the podcast tonight. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Father. You ever watch something that's just like disappointing? Like you're not. It's like it's bad, but it's just like it's not like this movie sucks. It's more or less this movie is just disappointing to watch.
Many times. The new
That's
Mortal Kombat movie.
yeah. The more comment. That's a perfect. Honestly, that's a perfect example. That's how I felt about watching Borderlands. I could, cause you know how like most people saying it's bad. I'm telling you it's bad, but I wasn't like, damn, this movie sucks. I was more or less like, damn, this movie's kind of disappointing. Like it had to, like as far as the world building and the concept and some of the Borderland lore, it's somewhat there, but you could tell like if they would have done this, and this, it could have been a good movie. And it's the same way I felt about Mortal Kombat. If they would have done this and this and this could have been a great movie. Everything is there. Why don't you just take it from there and then just put it on the big screen, and then you would have had something.
Because a lot of the people that make those movies don't fucking watch the source material.
Yeah, and I felt that. I felt that in this movie. Like you know, this and this. What's the big problem is? Borderlands story is not that deep. It is really not that deep. So like you could that could have been easy to like copy and paste, and you could have done something there. I mean, they tried, but the story was like stupid. I'm not gonna lie, the story was stupid. It was just dumb the way they did it. It was just so I don't know. I left that movie more or less disappointed. As like if the movie would have sucked, like I don't know, Tekken 2 Kazuya's Revenge, I'd have told you because that movie sucked. Or like King of Fighters when they had short hair Terry and motherfucking I think it was Rugal on skates or some shit like that. Like that like that was disappointing. That was just bad. That was just sad. But this it's just like wow, I'm kind of disappointed.
Use that your history of bad movie watching will help you out.
Yeah, I watch a lot of bad movies. It's just like I don't I don't know. I didn't. The sad part is I didn't go in hate watching this thing. I was like, I'm gonna give it a chance. It was like maybe I see something right, but I was like, God damn, this is disappointing. But I don't know. on let's get on with the podcast. I wanted to start with the topic: society's collapsing and men are relaxing. So, um, unfortunately, I guess there's not a lot of people going into the workforce. I think there's 7 million. They're saying that there's like at least 7 million men that's not actively looking for jobs. There's not or like not even wanting to like go into the workforce or trying to like do things in life. And I kind of found that interesting. And then the more interesting part about it, and as I pull up the video, um, it was this one guy. I don't know who he is, but um, he has his own reasons of why he feels like society is failing. And here, hold on, let me find it. I think it's right. Yep. Um, he has his own thoughts about it, so I'm gonna just play it.
To remain single, society.
Yeah, video games, the beast, the false prophet, and the anti-Christ. Porn.
Western society.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Young guys are doing with their time and energy. Porn, social media, video games, the beast, the false prophet, and the antichrist. That's what they're doing. Single guys in your 20s, here's what we know. 68% of guys in their 20s today are not dating a woman, not intending to date a woman, have no actual interest in a relationship with a female, and are making no movement toward marriage whatsoever. The last few years, a lot of young men just moved home with their mother. They have no intention of ever moving out until they can find a girlfriend in her 20s or 30s with a good job and low expectations. And then their hope is to move into her house and have her pick up where mom left off. And what these are generational curses and bad patterns that are destroying young men. And today, young men are an endangered species. And everything in our culture is to absolutely remove their masculinity and to ruin their legacy.
A study called from the Pew Center Research conducted a study that said 63% of men under age 30 would rather stay home and watch porn than go on a date. Men say they are getting their needs met without having to go on a date.
I mean,
so Father, I come to you. By the way, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Do you feel like society is failing? And do you agree with that white man that video games, porn, and whatever he said are the reason why?
Alright, so I hate to do this, but can you actually go first while I finish on this thing real quick?
Say it again.
Can you go first so I can finish on this thing real quick? Then I'll respond.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay. I'm gonna just say this once, and I'm gonna just say this. I'm sick of video games being a scapegoat of why people aren't doing anything, because anytime people mention video games as to blame, there's always stats and stats proving that video games aren't. When you try to blame violence on video games, there's stats that saying that video games aren't the reason. When you're saying there's violence in most inner cities or neighborhoods or ghettos and all that stuff, they want to blame it on video games. It's the furthest from the truth. I think as he looks like one of those Gen X or Boomers people, I want them to realize that it's the people. It is more to. There has to be a reason. If men are not dating, there's a reason for it. You need to start asking the men. If they're not like going to jobs, there's just probably a reason why they're not doing it. And I feel like a lot of it just feel like, it's just because they're lazy. And it's probably not because they're lazy. I'm pretty sure there's a deeper reason to do that. Now, I'm gonna say this. My father just retired. He just did 35 years at one job. 35 years. And I'm gonna be on and like if he wasn't married, he'd be in Florida by now. But even then, he like the way they're paying him is just like it's not really like he thought about getting a set. Let's just say he thought about getting another job after he retired, and I'm looking at him like, why? You just worked 35 years. He's been working since he's been 14, but he's worked at one job at 35 years. It's just like you're retired. You should be able to enjoy your retirement. You shouldn't be having to go to a part-time job just to quote unquote make ends meet. And I think young people are looking at that as just like, why are we slavering away from all and doing all this, supposed to work 30 years, and then barely getting enough time to see our families, barely getting enough time to have vacations to ourselves, barely have time to do anything that we kind of want to do, and live check to check. It's like because most like the average, like I said, like most like I don't put up and like most people put up, the average man makes about 40K a year. So most people are living check to check. Most people are living in two income houses. Most people have two or more jobs. It's like you. I don't think people want to be spending their whole life slaving away. So there's a lot of people that don't do it. There's a lot of people that's living very minuscule lives to where they don't have to, conform to what society is trying to bring them. And if they're watching this collapse, it's obviously because, a lot of them don't feel appreciated. Now, I remember back in the 90s, it's just like if you had a job, you was kind of appreciated for that because people like seeing you work. But now that we live in a time where people are not appreciating the work that most people are bringing in, especially like if women is just like if you like a garbage truck worker and people will say, why would you want to date him? He's a garbage. He garbage.
Stigma.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's just like, as far as a man dating, it's just like we was just told to have a job. We didn't say have a high job. We was just said to have a job that we can go with the girl we want. So now it's just like, oh no, what type of job you get? Oh, you a garbage man. Ugh, what are you doing as a garbage man? And while most of this, and so now men is just looking at that. It's just like, yo, what's the point? Like, I don't know how you feel about porn, but me, I think that's another scapegoat. But that's on the dating side. But I think that's on the dating side because it's just like you need to ask them, why would I rather watch porn than to go on a date? There has to be something behind it. And I feel like the older people was just not really trying to see what's really behind why are these people doing these things. They just want to just put the blame on younger people just being lazy. So that's
you know what, Ray? You know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Not only are they scapegoating, but it's their fault. That's why they're scapegoating. Listen, yo, bro, I've been studying the shit out of finance and economics and shit like that. Bro, Ray, let me tell you, the United States of America, like, this was by design. You feeling what I'm saying? This was by design. Go back to 1971 when Nixon removed the gold standard from the U.S. currency. So it made it so that the U.S. dollar was backed by nothing. On top of that, Reagan privatized entire fucking industries when he became elected to the point where like housing went up, fucking utilities went up, everything went up as a result of his neoliberal policy. Because when you privatize businesses, now they all have to compete in order to make a profit. And because they're private, they have to make their own profit. So those who fall behind, they either get merged into another company or they have to file for bankruptcy and ask for bailouts. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a whole bunch of shit that goes on with that. So young men being like disillusioned by the entire thing, like, bro, that's gonna happen because there's literally no point. Like you said, there's no point of getting a job because if I do get a job, I'm getting underpaid. And
You still there, Father, or did this shit?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so Jitsy's a bitch. But anyway, um, like I was saying, it's like there's no incentive. There's literally no point in getting a job. There's none. You feel what I'm saying? The only reason why people even have a job in the first place is to not starve. You feel what I'm saying? But there's no incentive to work anymore. So how you gonna get those young men that you're fucking complaining about to work? You have to provide incentives, which means you have to pay them. You feel what I'm saying? You have to pay these people. And not only that, but you have to look at the motherfucking entire society in itself because we are the type of people to fucking celebrate when shit like AI makes shit easier for us and make things convenient. Yet we shit on our kids because they're lazy from the very same inventions that our fathers created in order for them to use. You see how that doesn't make any fucking sense? So when a lot of these fucking old people speak, like it's just babble at this point because you're not doing anything to fix the problem, yet you're fixing your mouth trying to blame it on young people for not having ambition. Nigga, you don't have any ambition either because you sat on your fat asses and you allowed people that don't have your best interests at heart to take office and to steal from the youth. That's exactly the type of predicament that we're going on here right now. It's even worse in places like South Korea and Japan because a lot of their currencies were pegged to the American dollar. So when foreign investment by the West was taken out of Asia, they fucking collapsed. Look at the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Like, Ray, I have been studying this shit. These people are fucking evil as shit. And the only reason why they're even saying anything about this is because they understand that they're losing an entire workforce because everybody sees their bullshit now. This is what happens when you allow capitalism to be the profit motive. You feel what I'm saying? When it's nothing but profit, then the people are the one that suffer in the end, and you no longer have a fucking workforce. You feel me? So they can kiss my ass with all their fucking theories and why are young men doing this and why aren't young men doing that? Because you took it away from them. I'm like, it happened to me, right? You saw it happened to me. I'm one of the young men that they're talking about, but I didn't put myself in this predicament. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one like you see me. I'm not the one that put myself here. I was put here because these people are fucking incompetent. They don't know how to do their fucking jobs. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, just to conclude, like it is their fault. There is no scapegoat. You can blame porn, you can blame video games, you can blame Barney the purple dinosaur. Nigga, it's your fucking fault.
You know what's funny? Because even before I started working, the first thing I realized that people was doing was, and what they was talking about was outsourcing jobs, which means they was not, they was taking factories out of America and then moving into India. They was taking a lot of call services jobs, and instead of here in America, you hear Abdul all the way in India doing the job, and that's another thing. Like a lot of people are talking about, it's just like, where are we going to work at if AI is going to take most of your jobs? Because they're already doing it at fast food places. It's just like I talked about this was like when the pandemic happened, and I was like, after the pandemic, most of the people that they don't even do deliveries no more. They be like DoorDash does it. I was like, oh, so you mean to tell me I have to go on DoorDash now? It's like most of the restaurants that I used to enjoy getting food from, it's like I can't get it from them no more. I have to go through DoorDash. And you know what? DoorDash is like a $12 meal plus tax and all that other stuff, getting up to be like $20. And it's just like I don't want to pay $20 for something that it's like $12. It's like nobody wants to do that. So so with the outsourcing, the AI taking jobs, and then most of the things that it would usually take hours to do, you could do it at a press of a button. It's just like, what do you expect? That's like You know what's sad about this? Because I think you said this, but I feel like they know, and yet they don't care. And that's the part that really gets me. It's just like that. There's movies on this, there's TV shows on this, there's damn near books read about this, about how AI, is taking over jobs and then like leaving regular people out of jobs, or outsourcing others to where it's like America's not going to be working on it now. It's just like, oh no, where do you put them? There's too many people in this country. Oh no, the dollar value has been lowered. What are we doing now? There may not be enough food. So what we doing? We cloning food or some shit like that. It's just like people are getting sicker. People are just getting. It's just like you're killing us, and like you're killing us, but yet and the only thing you have answer is, oh, y'all just lazy. It's just like, no, we see through your bullshit, and I don't. To me, I was like, fuck it, let it. I'm at a place where it's like, fuck it, let it burn, because if you're not, how can I say this? If you're just going to disrespect us, or as men in general, who have been the backbone of the society, then you might as well just like say, let the shit burn. It's like, okay, well, without us. And now that society is collapsing, we're like, well, this is what happens.
I agree with you. Let it burn.
Okay.
You gotta let it burn.
Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
So many days, so many hours, I'm gonna be burning till you return.
Also, yeah, and let me just say this. Um, a lot of people don't really want to work 40. I understand, like, there's jobs where you like working that long, kind of like it matters, like customer service jobs and all that other stuff. But if the pandemic taught you anything, it's like you could do a lot of these jobs at home. No one wants to go commute to a place where I'm staring at a wall for like 8 fucking hours and I'm bored as fuck. And I'm bored as fuck. Because I know there's another reason. There's a video on this why they won't hire Gen Z, because Gen Zs be all up in their phones. And I'm like, everything. This is not the olden days where it would literally take you 8 hours to do most of these jobs. Most of these jobs you could do with a personal. Hell, most of these jobs you don't have to do anything. I've been like when I used to work at Live Casino and I was cleaning bathrooms. I only had to clean one bathroom, and it'd take me like a good 30 minutes to do, and then after that it's just like, well, I'm done. It's like, is there anything else you need me to do? And it's usually nothing else to do. So it's just like you gotta look busy or you just hide out. What do you think they niggas gonna do? And now you got kids.
I hate that shit.
I do too. And then it's like I see most of the people, they just in their phones or they just talking on their phones, talking to people. It's just like, oh, it's not professional. I'm like, yo, everything is done. It's like everything is done. What do you say? Oh, go then, go do something. I was like, what is there to do? Everything is done. So you just sit there for 8 hours. So I'm just sitting there 8 hours grabbing the paycheck. Some jobs I've left because they're bored. I don't even leave jobs because they're hard. I left jobs because I'm bored.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's just like I'm bored. I'm not doing anything, and if you expect me to work here for 30 years, you out your fucking mind. I felt that way about Walmart.
And I'm still underpaid.
Yes, and we're still underpaid. Like that. But anyway, let's go on to the next thing. And this one's old, so I'm gonna just throw this as a do you care. Did you ever see that when Megan Thee Stallion was on that Kamala Democratic thing and she was performing her songs and like she was twerking a little bit and everybody was having an uproar about it?
Yes, but I want to know what you think because I got to do something again.
Okay. Um, I think you and I we both love Megan, so I'm not gonna. So this is not really a shit on Megan thing, but I feel like as an artist, first of all, I get the message she was trying to get is like the whole thing about not controlling our bodies and all that other stuff. Um, it just felt a little cringy, in my opinion. It just felt a little cringy, and the reason why I felt a little cringy is because I've always felt like men can really rap, and I've always said this: men can really, really, really rap, but I feel like the topics that she's been putting out recently are very bare minimal and very basic as fuck. And then I feel like it's like she just makes songs for TikTok dances, and then or like just playing views or some shit like that. I feel like there's so much to Megan that she could do so much more. She could be like a female Jay Z. And I'm saying this right now. She could be like rapping wise. She could be like a female Jay Z, someone that can give you deep shit and yet can give you club bangers at the same time. But I feel like she just subjects herself to like the bare minimum or the very, very just she has more to deliver, but I feel like she just doesn't do that. She just get what gets her paid. With that being said, it's just like as far as Kamala go, I feel like there could have been other suitors that you could have got on there, like a Killer Mike or someone with a message that people won't look at and you twerking because it just looked out of place. She looked good, but it just looked out of place. And I think that was like everybody's problem with that. What you think?
I'm sorry, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear
A
me?
little bit. Oh, you coming in now? I think you're coming in now.
No, there's a lot going on. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a lot of background noise though.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I think he's trying to find a better space to where he can get his opinion. But yeah,
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to get back on me on that. I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, but yeah, I think Megan is like someone that I feel like if she just digs deeper into, she could be the person that could dig deeper into her raps and like give you some thought provoking shit. She could give you club bang. She could do all in one. That's why I be so hard on Megan sometimes like that because I feel like she could do more, but yet she doesn't. Now I know most people that did defend her and all that other stuff, but at the same time, there's a time and place. If she has a song about women's bodies, it shouldn't be body yada 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 yada. That's what people was trying to get at. For and like even then like she can have like I feel like if she just have songs to where you can play on a presidential campaign like that, and it made Kamala look bad too because a lot of people, like I said, Kamala got an uphill battle too. Really, as far as her running for president, is a uphill battle for her because a lot, like I said, she has to even though she went to a HBCU, even though she had like people still finding reasons not to like Kamala or not to vote for Kamala or for a lot of people they just feel like she's just perpetrating. So so she has an uphill battle, and trying to do it in Atlanta, I feel like is a good idea, but at the same time, it's just like yeah, Quavo up there, and I'm like, and I don't think people look at Quavo very highly, especially since Takeoff got murdered. Rest in peace, take off. And that's just my opinion. Like, I feel like you need to have people up there that's politically inclined to talk about stuff like a Killer Mike. So, in Kamala, on that, you didn't look very well. As you didn't look so good as well too. But the fact that Trump is not really doing good either, it kind of make out even. But at the same time, you're the one that's still got to do the convincing that for people. People already know Trump. People are trying to get to know you. So, uh, uh, Father, are you good, or you want me to go to the next topic? I'm gonna just on that note, I'm just gonna go to another topic and then come back to where he comes to. So anyway, this the third topic I want to talk about, and it was based off of and what I thought we was done with it was Simone Biles. And like obviously the Olympics is going on. Simone Biles won gold in an event and she put the medal on her husband. And one of a TikToker got really irate for some reason. It's like the whole thing about take the medal off and all that other stuff. And you know, people was talking about it. Kind of started with Simone Biles, and then Simone Biles had to call people miserable. But I've been seeing a lot of videos lately of like even when people are in happy, committed relationships and their relationships are going well, it's like people are very pessimistic and telling people like, "Oh, he's just going to cheat on you anyway," or it's like they pray that their relationship, doesn't become as good and all that other stuff. So it made me wonder: are we living in a time of day that people just don't want to see other people happy? And to me, I want to say yes because I see, but maybe it's just, but I can honestly throw it to social media because I feel like there's a lot of sad people on the internet. There's a lot of people just not. How can I say this? They're not in happy relationships. Some people are just single and bitter. Some people just like don't want to see. Like I think there's a video on here too where if I can find it, that's just because this was just not a word. I think it's this one. Hold on.
Intelligent, always paid for dinner, pretty much catered to my every need. But if
Oh no, that's soft guy error. Hold on, let me find the video. It was actually.
We now have 7 million.
Here we go. Women are condemning men for remaining single.
Intimate with her, or okay. Women are condemned.
Incredibly divisive. We have all been burned and we want someone to blame. But I hope that starting off this way will get us on the same page by feeling the same thing. Disgust. Enough of it to leave all this madness behind.
Women are condemned. Rebating today's description about
Never been more self-destructively entertaining. We have emotionally volatile people on podcasts degrading their guests for their own self-gratification. We have soft life girlies telling you how to dress, speak, and breathe elegantly to bag a provider man. We have alpha men flaunting their modern-day harems of Instagram baddies to override their innate need for emotional connection to impress other men. We have dating apps commodifying romance while profiting from your failure to find it. We have high-value dating coaches teaching you how to invest the least by getting the most out of the very person that you desire. We have trad wives influencing impressionable young women into traditional gender roles without disclosing the very common dangers of financial abuse. We have trend chasers claiming they want a traditional relationship without the resources, the values, or the skill set to qualify them for it. We have street interviewers giving immature, jaded clout chasers permission to feed into polarizing stereotypes for the sake of engagement. We have reality dating shows giving a platform to emotionally unavailable people, desensitizing us to unethical behavior by turning it into entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, we have adult entertainment programming men to dehumanize women by fetishizing misogyny. We have attractive young women weaponizing their appeal to desperate men for financial gain because a girl's gotta eat. We have manifestation content feeding your delusions about your specific person through hope baiting you at your lowest, most vulnerable time.
I kind of just want to point out, guys, you know,
And I think it was something else that, because the dude speaks for. But anyway, yeah, she basically explains it. It's just like, oh, Father, you came back. Did you listen to any of what was going on in that
Yeah,
video?
I heard it all.
Okay. So yeah, basically, can you speak or can you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I'm asking you on do people want to see each other happy anymore? So, and she was just basically going through like everything that was just like we done seen in social media. So I'm gonna ask you, do you feel like people want to see each other happy anymore?
Yes, but not at the expense of their own perceived happiness. Um, I think there's a lot of people that they're miserable, so others have to share in their misery. You see this in the way that social media has transformed, right? Because there used to be a time where everybody would want to post their wins on Facebook, but the only people that are posting wins on Facebook are people that are like really rich, right? You also have people that post their graduation and shit like that, but you start to notice they tend to get very quiet after that, right? So I think right now what's happening is as the wealth gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you're gonna have more despair. You're gonna have more people that are just not trying to see that shit because everything is falling apart in their lives, and it really wasn't even their fault, as we said before. But at the same time, like happiness is a state of being. It doesn't happen as soon as you get $1 million or as soon as you get that dream job, right? If you're happy, you're happy. You know what I'm saying? There's homeless people and people in villages and all across the world that are fucking happy as shit, just sitting in a tree doing absolutely nothing. We got all these motherfucking cell phones and computers and shit like that, and people are miserable as fuck. So it just goes to show you that the shit that we thought would bring us happiness was all a lie. Or it wasn't even that it was a lie, but you don't understand what happiness is in the first place. You assume happiness just comes in when you have a good job, a nice house, and all that other shit. But usually, the people that have that shit are stressed the fuck out because they have to afford all that shit in the first place, and then they have to stay in that tax bracket in order to afford that shit. Otherwise, lifestyle creep happens, and then they have to sell their assets in order to get that money back because it wasn't really yours to begin with. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's that people don't want to see people happy anymore. It's just so many people are miserable that it seems like nobody wants to see people be happy anymore.
You know what? That makes perfect sense because usually like I said, I don't see Simone Biles is a great example. Like when Simone Biles, when she speaks highly of her husband, it seemed like everybody was just like, "Well, who the fuck is he?" Or because like he said that he was the prize and all that other stuff, and everybody had a problem with it. And it was just like, "Who the fuck is he? You ain't do nothing." She's just, and but but Simone Biles was just like infatuated with the man. So it's just like they're happy. Why can't you be happy for him? Or it's just like anytime I feel like anytime when you see like I want to just put this on based on celebrities alone, but when you see like a celebrity happy with a good person and all that stuff, and then someone will always say he's gonna be cheating on you anyway. I've seen this happen to LeBron too, and like LeBron has been in a relationship with his woman for like his whole life, and yet people are still trying to like out him as some type of cheater or something like that. Because there's some people that's been um, tainted. I think that's the word I'm gonna use. That's been tainted, or they done been having one bad relationship after one bad relationship after another. That's all they know is bad relationships. So it's just like all they can spew is the venom. It's just like, girl, you gonna cheat on you, and then I feel like it's for men too because especially with like the red pill, and I say this all the time. Sometimes the red pill it can be good, but sometimes they can go overdo it by like calling everybody whores. Oh, she does this, she's a whore. If you just like, if she does this, she's a thought, and all that other stuff. So it's just like, okay, so what is a good woman? This is just like and I understand like people go through a rage where it's just like they hate every woman, or as I like to call it, the fuck that bitch face. I know because I went through that. And one of our other friends that went through it when he got out of a relationship. Um, and he just didn't like he just hated women all the time. But he's like but eventually you get out of that because you realize it's stupid and it's toxic. So I feel like sometimes I feel like it's profitable for most people. And I feel like, especially for the women, it's just like single women keep women single. Now we having people who's just like, even though I feel like you should be doing things on your own, we have people who's just like, I don't need people to do this. I can do this on my own. And it's just like, well, you can, but it's just like, do you really want to? And honestly, like, this is the thing I be telling everybody. Yes, it's good that you can do things on your own. You should be able to do things on your own, like cook, clean, take care of a house, manage your money. Those are things you should be doing in your house. But it's just like sometimes it's just like a lot of those people they feel empty. I done seen a video like the other day. It's just like I have what we talk about. I have everything. I just feel empty inside. I just want someone to share it with. And I always say this too because a lot of people talk about bills. I'm just like, if you make enough to where you don't have to worry about missing a phone bill, missing a light bill, you wouldn't have to worry about money anyway. Like you would think that. Like if I'm making multi-million dollars, the bills ain't nothing. It's just, they're going to get paid. It's like the house mortgage is going to get. If I'm a billionaire, that's the last thing I worry about. The mortgage is getting paid. Everything is getting paid. So I wouldn't need you for money, which is like, it's like I would just like to know if you're a good person or not. It's like that should be on the top of the head. But I don't know. But the way I feel like the people rolling down shit, like being single or being angry at the other opposite sex is more profitable. I feel like people are doing it for profit. What do you think?
Bruh. Um, there was a quote that I wanted to say, but I forgot it. But essentially, it's like, bruh, like, nigga, again, happiness is a state of being. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it don't
Right.
come just because you accomplish some shit. Like, bruh, as a matter of fact, the more you accomplish, the more pressure that's on you. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't understand why people feel like they have to be individualistic when it comes to their accomplishments. As a matter of fact, your accomplishments are supposed to be shared with other people. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's so women are socialized to be narcissists and men are socialized to be sociopaths in the sense that, like, as men, we don't care what circumstance you're in. You just gotta go get it. Right? I don't care if your mother died of cancer, nigga. Not a, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, like, no, that's not. You know what I'm saying? That's not healthy, like at all. You know, and then women are like socialized to believe that like everything that a man is supposed to do, he's supposed to just do because he's the man and you're the woman. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of women have this mentality to think that they're entitled to the success of like men and shit like that. Or even when a woman is very successful, you know, she takes a page from the man's book and then makes it seem like it's all about her. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just people being dumb. It's the blind leading the blind. A lot of these niggas are full of shit. A lot of these niggas are horrendously fucking miserable, even with money. So there's not really anything much to say in terms of, you know, how they want to be represented. You suck, and it's okay.
Okay. Any last words before we move on to our final topic?
I'm about to head out home.
Um, yeah. Look, I just, I just want to live in a world where, we can actually like each other just to like each other, not just be all just superficial about stupid shit, or hell, even dismissing someone for dumb shallow shit. Because I understand preface, but like now we're to the point where we're dismissing people for shallow shit now, and it's getting ridiculous. And also, yeah, also stop blaming porn for a reason. like I tell people, stop blaming using these scapegoats um, for the reason why the society is failing. It's failing, especially when it comes to women. It's just like women. If a man wants to rather watch porn than actually be with you, there's something wrong with you. Because I don't like, other than like him having very good sexual discipline, I don't see the reason why a man would turn down sex. But that's just it. All right. And this is and on to our last topic. Have you heard about the incident that happened around Castanet?
You say Kai Samat?
Yeah, that happened around.
I think I did. I think I did.
It was not really him. It was mostly his cameraman.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah. Okay. So those that don't know, I guess because a lot of the social media people getting caught DMing minors or some shit like that, and Castanet's cameraman was another one that I guess, Castanet's camera was caught DMing a minor. Now for what sparked this controversy, because from what I'm hearing, that Castanet, he's like 21, 22. But this happened 2 years ago, and I think his cameraman was like 20 years old, and he was DMing a 17-year-old. So for most people, it's just like, a lot of people see that as normal, but then again, there's a lot of people that think that that's borderline pedophilia. And I want to have this talk about the age gap thing, because I feel like it's a very, very picky a very, very picky debate about this, because depending on how you grow up or what time you grew up, most people look at it very differently. So especially in your early 20s, and like from, let's say, from 8 to, let's just say from 16 to like 23. So Father, what is your view on the age gap thing?
Well, it's a spicy topic, bro. I just want you to know this is spicy as hell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, right? Like, some people do, the threes rule. Like I used to 3 years. No younger than 3 years, no older than 3 years. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like that's a good, like, you know, threshold, like a good boundary. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if you're at a certain age. But it can get tricky because of, like certain laws and things of the sort. So you just got to use your discretion, right? Now, there's just people that's going just gonna be weird as hell, but you know, people with common sense know what's right and what's wrong. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think this is a topic needs to go real complex. But people are gonna bring up age of consent and all that other stuff like it matters, but it's like, well, it kind of doesn't because it's different from every area that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Between cultures is different. Between different areas is different. Between different religions is different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has different opinions when it comes to this. So I don't really think it's anything complex. I just think you need to be very careful about where you at and what you're saying.
Okay. So I'm gonna speak for myself here. Um, I'm more or less millennial on the. Let me say, most of my time growing up, it's usually like I think father was like it was a rule of three. I feel like for my age or older, if you're like my age or older, or in that millennial era, it's more or less the age of five. But like the rule of five. Like if they're like 5 years older than each other, then it's cool. Six, you're pushing it, and like seven is a no no. So, but I know, hell, even like Gen X and Gen Boomers, if you look at their parents, some parents are 10 years older than the other person. If they knew them since, and they knew them growing up. And yet no one bats, no one was really batting an eye to them if they're married and they've been married for a long time. No one really bats an eye to it. Um, it is more or less, it's like, when did you marry them? So that's one thing. Um, First things first, what Castanet did, because he like got rid of his cameraman because he doing that, and a lot of first of all, it's smart on him because he's a brand and he has to understand. And I think he understand that even if the person was like 20 and she was 17, a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people look at it, oh, he's being a pedophile, especially when you call people a pedophile. People was calling Tyga and people was calling Tyga when he was dating Kendall, uh, not Kendall Jenner, Kylie Jenner. They was calling Kylie Jenner a pedophile because he knew her since he was 17 and then waited till he was 18 to start dating her. And they was like 5 years apart. I didn't see a problem with that because one, he waited till he was 18. But a lot of people was, found that disgusting. I know there's people that wouldn't date someone 5 years their senior, and but when he said this, he was 25 and the girl was 20, and I was like, first of all, you're both adults. It's just like no one's really gonna look. Now it's just like, are you gonna wait till? Now I've always said this. It's just like, as far as, let's just say 21 to 16, that's about a 5 year gap. Most people I know met each other in high school. Like the senior, like the dude's a senior and the chick's a freshman, and they've been high school sweethearts ever since. Like you have stories about that. Some people are just like 5 years your senior. Um, it's a but if they're like 25 and all of a sudden you see a 25 going to 16-year-old, obviously that's wrong, and you should call the cops. But also, like, depending on what state he is in and if she's consenting or not, the guy might get away with it. Which is why you saw, like, Maury had an episode of this 30-something-year-old woman and, like, marrying a 14-year-old boy. Um, she married her son's friend who was, like, 14, and it was legal because he was legally able to do that. Some laws are really different, and there's like Father said, there's some cultures, and then some there's cultures in it, and then hell, it's even just more or less the era we live in too. Because I feel like in this era, it might be the rule of three, but in like my era, it was just like the rule of five. Like seeing a 19-year-old date a 60-year-old, like no one would bat an eye. How seeing someone like 21 dating a 17-year-old, no one in my era, no one would bat an eye because that's normal. And plus, this really doesn't matter until you get older. Like if you're 30 and you're dating a 25-year-old, no one's gonna say shit. If you're 30 dating an 18-year-old, though, someone will say shit. But since she's an adult, she can make her own decisions. I know Marcus Houston was getting flack for it because his wife, when he married his wife, she was 19 and he was almost 40. So usually that's where a lot of people, even then, because for some reason, I think it's just black people. Like even though 18 is an adult, we still look at 18-year-old as babies. And it's like, no, they can buy cigarettes, they can join the military, they can vote, and it's just like they're adults. So it's just like, hell, I know people looking at 21-year-olds. It's just like, oh, he's just a baby. I was like, that man can buy alcohol. All right. But I think this is kind of how I've always said this. Black people, we kind of look at age. We look at age very different from white people. Like, I feel like when white people look at an 18-year-old, oh, she's an adult. But I feel like if a black person look at an 18-year-old person, oh, they're still babies. And so I feel like that kind of falls on the culture as well. So I feel like those things really, really, really inhabit to how people look at this. But I don't know. You got anything else to say about this topic, Father?
Not really. It's just one of those things. Right. Everybody's gonna have like their own opinion. Everybody's gonna have their own little, caveat on what they like. And you just gotta be there because you can definitely tell who's doing it for very malicious reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think people can hide that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, again, it's gonna be different for no matter who you talk to. Some people are gonna be with it, some people are not, some people are gonna be in between. Some people are just gonna be like, man, I don't care. I got 4 wives. Like, it don't matter, honestly.
Yeah, just be glad it ain't the olden days. Because as soon as you hit puberty, you would have been someone's wife. Actually,
Nah, for real. Nah, for real. Them biblical days were unforgiving.
like y'all flip out when y'all see a 20-year-old talking to a 17-year-old. Imagine back then, Pocahontas, like fucking 12, 14-year-old, and the person she married was like 38. So if you really know about the story of Pocahontas, it's just like both the white men that liked her was like in their 30s. It's like it's really disturbing when you really look at it. But like I tell people back then, that's how it was back in the olden days. It's just like as soon as you hit puberty, you was bearing children. But any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
I fucking finally made it home.
Okay. With that being said, we're gonna get into our final thoughts. Father, do you have any final thoughts?
I love Megan Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? That's my baby. That's my girl. That's my daughter. Been there since what, 2016? Right. Like
Yeah.
you was there when I played her for the very first time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was there from day zero, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So just to go back to that topic, I just feel like she's being used, bro. Like it's just like Malcolm X used to talk about when it came to black celebrities and how they're used to, lull black people into like this sense of solidarity with certain political parties and shit like that. The Republicans did the same shit with Amber Rose, but I don't understand why they use Amber Rose because nobody really fucking with her like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the same girl that embarrassed 21 Savage. We ain't forget. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like Meg Thee Stallion, she needs to be careful about siding with the Democrats because they will use her and then they will throw her, away as soon as they don't fit or align with their agendas. You feel what I'm saying? This is like politics is about who, not only who's in the office, but who's going to profit the most. You know what I'm saying? So like, I love Meg, and I had criticism when she had that photo shoot with what was it, the New York Times?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the New York Times.
Live streaming is on.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Father. We back on. Father, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're talking or not, but I can't hear you. I think Jesse done hit you again. I swear, Jesse, count your days.
Well, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Fuck this app. But
I
anyway,
know. Count your days,
um,
Jesse.
let's see. As I was saying, so yeah, like the New York Times shit, right? Like, bruh, like again, it's not like I had a problem with her doing it. I just don't want her to be used by the fucking Democrats because they do this with a lot of fucking black celebrities. They did the same shit with Billy Porter. Remember that gay ass dance he fucking did at the Democratic Party? Nigga, bruh, I said, what the fuck? And obviously they bought his fucking ass on there because he had just got done winning awards for Pose. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, yo, these motherfuckers ain't slick. They straight use black people. So I don't want Megan Thee Stallion to be in a position where the Democrats are just using her and she over there making herself look like something that she's not. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a college educated woman. You feel what I'm saying? This is a very intelligent woman. Another woman that I'm really proud of in terms of her intelligence is fucking Cardi B. Cardi B is smarter than she lets on, and people really sleep on her motherfucking intelligence, but I see her. Cardi B's a very fucking intelligent woman. It's just a lot of that hood shit gets the spotlight. But it's like, no, like when you hear Cardi B actually talk about real shit, like, you can tell, like, bro, she reads and, she's like, you know, she's aware of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and it's the same thing with Megan Thee Stallion, too. I just don't want her to be used. But, like, yeah, that's that. For my final thoughts, I'm finally 30 now. You know what I'm saying? I'm officially in my unk era. Um, I don't even really feel any different for real, for real. I just, I guess my motivation now is just to make as much money as possible, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, shout out to being 30. Um, shout out to being African. We have this youthfulness about us. I'm about to look the same till I'm in my damn mid 70s. So get used to this look because it's not changing. Um, and yeah, I'm just blessed. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shout out to life. That's my final part.
I got okay. I got a couple videos that I done posted, and on this channel and on my last channel. So check out. I may have been a bad boyfriend. Where I was, where the original intent was, the whole can men and women be friends, and all of a sudden I just go into stories of how I may have been a bad boyfriend. So I don't know. I found that funny, and also, you know, summer is almost over, so I hope that everybody's taking the time now to like at least, let loose and party out this summer, because usually this is where like back to school and all the other stuff is coming through. So, and then like winter's coming, so people that love Halloweens and all that other stuff, that this is their time. But shout out to Leo season. Shout out to Father having a birthday.
You mean fall, not winter?
Yeah, fall. Excuse me. This shout out to Leo seasons. I always fuck with my Leos. I think from a astrology standpoint, Geminis and Leos, we kind of like fuck with each other a lot. So at least,
fire and air, baby.
Yeah. So, and we give the Leos the oxygen to flame. So but
Nah, you want to know what it is? Because I have Gemini in my chart too. I'm a Gemini in Mars. So that basically means that like the way that like I do my actions is like very Gemini like. So if I fight someone, I want to debate. You feel what I'm saying? They said Gemini and Mars, we're like the debaters. We love fucking debating niggas. So yeah, I guess that's why.
That's what I do, bait niggas.
Yeah, like bro, like that's how I express myself. Like, oh shit, like bro, I live for a motherfucking Twitter back and forth. That's my shit. I don't know. It's just, I can't resist when somebody says some dumb shit. I just want to push their shit in intellectually.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing saying stupid shit in my presence? That's the Gemini and Mars. So it's like, I'm very happy about that. And then on top of that too, it's like Geminis get a bad rap for being two-faced. And it's like, no, they're not being two-faced. You just can't perceive. You just can't handle the intellectual capacity of a Gemini. It's not that they're being two-faced. It's just, nigga, they see one side and the other, and then they understand both. And then you think they on some hater shit. It's like, no, you just not comprehending. It's a comprehension issue. It's a skill issue. But yeah, like shout out to my Geminis. Y'all get a bad rap.
Yeah, I know. I'm used to it though. But I have to tell people, it's like it's like it's not that we two-faced. We see two halves to a whole, and we know it's just like if you're gonna say one thing, you don't think I'm gonna ask the other person what you think, so I can like at least calculate in my head to see how it really happened and some shit like that. It's just like that's why I tell people all the time, I'm a victim of a why. Even though like I probably know the answers, I probably always ask, what made this person do this and all that other stuff. So that's just me. Always say it. I'm a victim of a why. But yeah. Hell, summer's almost over, so I hope whatever plans y'all got, y'all go through them. And that's all I have to say for now. I would like to thank the panel for jumping on as usual. I'd like to thank all y'all for listening to hear us talk that shit again. This is You Know What? Let Me Just Say podcast, and we're signing out. Peace.
Holla Pete, baby.
Call of Pete.